In a rare and striking moment of unity, the Supreme Court delivered a unanimous decision in National Rifle Association of America versus Vullo, a case that captured the nation's attention and brought together justices from across the ideological spectrum. With this decision, the court powerfully reaffirmed the enduring strength and importance of the First Amendment, sending a message that resonates far beyond the courtroom's marble walls. This ruling wasn't just about the NRA or a single organization. It was a sweeping declaration that government officials, regardless of their personal beliefs or political motivations, cannot use their power to silence speech they dislike or to coerce private companies into punishing disfavored viewpoints. The decision draws a clear line, warning that government influence cannot be used as a backdoor to suppress dissent. The decision's impact is already being felt nationwide, from the halls of Washington, D.C., to bustling newsrooms and boardrooms across the country. It serves as a powerful reminder that free speech is a universal shield, not a partisan tool to be wielded only when convenient. Journalists, activists, and everyday citizens alike are taking note, recognizing that their voices are protected under this renewed commitment to constitutional rights. The court's message is clear and unequivocal. The government cannot indirectly achieve what the Constitution forbids it from doing directly. Attempts to pressure, intimidate, or manipulate private actors into silencing speech are just as unconstitutional as outright bans. Globally, this precedent stands as a model for protecting speech from subtle state coercion, reinforcing that true freedom requires more than just the absence of outright censorship. It demands vigilance against all forms of government overreach, inspiring advocates for free expression around the world to push for similar protections in their own countries. The journey from a specific legal dispute to a national touchstone for free speech shows the enduring power of the American legal system. It demonstrates how a single case can spark a broader conversation about the values that define a nation and the principles that must be defended. This case is a powerful reminder that a single Supreme Court ruling can redefine the relationship between the state and the individual, safeguarding the rights of all Americans for generations to come. The fight for free speech is ongoing, but with decisions like this, the foundation grows ever stronger. To understand the Supreme Court's decision, we return to New York, where the NRA accused Maria Vullo, head of the state's Department of Financial Services, of using her regulatory power to punish the group for its political speech. Vullo allegedly pressured banks and insurers to cut ties with the NRA, not through direct orders but by warning of reputational risks and holding private meetings. The NRA argued this was unconstitutional coercion, while Vullo claimed she was addressing public safety and financial risk. The legal battle centered on whether Vullo's actions crossed the line from permissible government speech to unconstitutional suppression of a disfavored viewpoint. The Supreme Court was called to clarify this boundary, setting the stage for a landmark ruling on the limits of regulatory power. The Supreme Court's recent ruling, authored by Justice Sotomayor, drew a clear and unmistakable line in the sand regarding the limits of government power over free speech. The decision comes at a time when questions about the boundaries of the First Amendment are more relevant than ever, and it reaffirms the court's commitment to protecting the fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. The court made it clear, government officials cannot use their positions to coerce private individuals or organizations into punishing or suppressing viewpoints that the government finds objectionable or unpopular. This principle is essential to maintaining a healthy democracy, where debate and dissent are not only tolerated but protected. In this case, the court found that the NRA's allegations, if proven true, described a pattern of unconstitutional coercion. The government's actions, combining public condemnation, private meetings with companies and official guidance, amounted to pressure that could chill free expression and association. The ruling recognizes that even subtle or indirect government pressure can have a profound impact on the willingness of private actors to support controversial causes. The decision allows the NRA to move forward with its case, reinforcing the idea that the First Amendment protects against not only overt censorship, but also the chilling effect of implied threats and behind-the-scenes pressure. This is a crucial safeguard for all Americans, regardless of their political beliefs. The distinction is vital. While officials are free to advocate for their views and policies, they cross a constitutional line when they use the weight of their office to intimidate, threaten, or punish those who disagree with them. The First Amendment draws a firm boundary between persuasion and coercion. The court's unanimous decision sends a strong and unmistakable warning to all government officials. Your words, when backed by the authority of your office, cannot be wielded as weapons to silence dissent or stifle debate. The power of government must always be exercised with respect for constitutional freedoms. This ruling ensures that the First Amendment's shield extends not just to popular or mainstream speech, but also to voices that are controversial, unpopular, or even offensive. Protecting these voices is essential to the vibrancy and resilience of our democracy. Ultimately, the decision stands as a powerful reminder. Government persuasion must never cross the line into government coercion. Our freedoms depend on it. By the autumn of 2025, the Vulo precedent, once a topic for legal scholars and media watchdogs, erupted into the center of American political discourse. This time, the controversy involved President Trump and FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, thrusting the issue of government influence over the media into the national spotlight. The stakes were higher than ever, as the boundaries between political power and press freedom were tested in real time. Carr, in a series of high-profile interviews and public statements, openly criticized ABC's late-night program Jimmy Kimmel Live. He suggested that broadcasters should seriously reconsider whether to continue airing the show, and went further by hinting that there could be regulatory consequences for those who did not comply. His remarks were widely covered by the press, sparking heated debate across newsrooms and social media platforms. The FCC's immense authority over broadcast licenses meant that Carr's comments were not dismissed as mere personal opinion. Instead, they were interpreted by many as veiled threats, carrying the weight of possible government action. Broadcasters and legal analysts alike began to question whether the independence of the media was under direct assault. In response, ABC acted swiftly, suspending Jimmy Kimmel Live. Major station owners, some of whom were in the midst of seeking FCC approval for lucrative mergers, quickly dropped the show from their lineups. The chilling effect was immediate, as media executives scrambled to avoid regulatory backlash and protect their business interests. President Trump then escalated the situation by explicitly linking negative press coverage to the potential revocation of broadcast licenses. He named Carr as the official responsible for making those decisions, leaving little doubt about the administration's intentions and further intensifying the controversy. The rapid sequence of events sent shockwaves through the media industry and civil society. Concerns about regulatory intimidation and the chilling effect on journalistic independence grew louder as protests erupted and newsrooms debated how to respond to the mounting pressure. Legal experts and constitutional scholars immediately drew parallels to the Vulo case, questioning whether this was a textbook example of government coercion. The legal community began to speculate about possible court challenges and the long-term implications for First Amendment protections. The debate over free speech and government power was no longer just an academic exercise. It had become an urgent, real-world crisis, one that would test the resilience of American democracy and the future of a free press. Broadcasters now face a dilemma. Are their decisions truly independent or shaped by fear of regulatory retaliation? For companies like Nexstar, with billion-dollar deals pending FCC approval, the risk of antagonizing regulators is immense. The Vulo ruling makes clear that even suggestive language, combined with regulatory leverage, can cross into unconstitutional coercion. The First Amendment protects against direct censorship, but indirect pressure, especially from agencies like the FCC, remains a gray area. This controversy is a real-time test of the Vulo standard, pushing the boundaries of what counts as improper government influence. No broadcaster has yet filed a legal challenge, but the legal framework is now in place for such a fight. If challenged, NRA versus Vulo would be the central precedent, potentially leading to another landmark decision on free speech and regulation. The stakes are enormous. Politically, using regulatory agencies to pressure media threatens the independence of the press and the balance of power. Economically, the Vulo precedent introduces new risks for any industry subject to government oversight. Companies may feel compelled to align with the party in power to avoid trouble. Socially, the chilling effect could silence controversial voices, narrowing public debate and undermining the marketplace of ideas. If government-led pressure campaigns succeed, many will choose silence over risk, eroding the diversity of viewpoints essential to democracy. The danger is a cycle of escalating censorship, with each party tempted to use government power against its critics. The Vullo decision was a unanimous call for restraint, reminding us that free speech must transcend partisan battles. Protecting this principle is vital for the health and stability of the republic. Legal scholars point to the Vullo ruling's totality of the circumstances. Test courts must consider an official's words, power, and the vulnerability of the private party to determine if coercion occurred. Officials can express strong opinions, but when their words, combined with their authority, create a credible threat, it becomes coercion. In the FCC case, Carr's criticism alone might be protected speech, but paired with hints of regulatory action, and Trump's comments, it crosses a line. The power imbalance is key. Regulated entities know the consequences of defying their overseers. The Vullo decision instructs courts to protect private actors from being strong-armed by regulators. As government pressure on private companies grows, especially in tech and media, the line between persuasion and coercion will be tested repeatedly. The Supreme Court's unanimous standard ensures government can debate, but not silence, through regulatory muscle. Scholars widely agree. Vullo was a crucial victory for viewpoint neutrality, barring the government from regulating speech based on its content. Legal experts praise the ruling's clarity and its message that the solution to controversial speech is not government-compelled silence. The decision fits a broader trend of the court reining in executive and agency overreach, signaling consensus across ideological lines. The suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live is now a concrete example of harm, making future legal challenges more likely and more potent. Ultimately, Vullo is a shield for all, ensuring free speech rights are protected no matter who holds power. The journey of NRA versus Vullo highlights the Supreme Court's role as the Constitution's guardian. The unanimous decision was more than a legal ruling. It was a civic lesson in the absolute protection of free speech from government coercion. The FCC controversy is a real-world test of the court's wisdom, showing why the Vullo precedent matters. The court has drawn a line. Now it's up to the public, media, and other branches to respect it. Protecting free speech requires active participation and vigilance from every citizen. The legacy of NRA versus Vullo will shape law and politics for years, reminding us that foundational principles can unite even a divided nation. The Supreme Court has done its part. Now it's up to all of us to keep the First Amendment alive in our communities and our hearts.